Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Guilty Movie Pleasures. In-depth discussion on movies, no matter how guilty they make you feel.
What is up, Guilty Movie Pleasure fans? We are back. We took a hiatus, but we are back with a vengeance today, talking about one of my favorite movies. I'm Ben Begley, as you know, and Josh McCouga still is not with us, but he will come back as a guest someday. But with me now, I have a co-host right here that you may all know from the Popcorn Talk and all that good stuff, Cameron Louis. Give it up for him right now. Yeah.
What's going on,
got
everybody?
The applause. Everybody in the chat room better be applauding right now, or I'll be very upset.
Happy to be here, though.
Boss man Steven over here.
There he is.
Lemieux.
Hey guys, what's up?
Taking diligent notes on everything
Diligent notes over on my laptop. I gotta keep Cameron in check.
Yeah, it's the performance review. It's the annual performance review.
Ben Begley is a delicate flower.
I am.
And Cameron Lewis is pesticide.
Yeah.
That I don't want to reach that flower.
You know,
exactly
it's just
what my ex-wife said.
That was a very good metaphor. We actually have no idea why Steven's in here, and he's just here to awkwardly stare at us every once in a while.
It's pastime, like everyone watching.
Yeah, you know.
I get to be the viewer.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool. We have somebody else to throw to in here. Cameron, so you're new to the show. You haven't been on here before.
No. I'm very excited, though.
Are you a fan of these kind of movies? We talked a little bit about being the common man film goer. Explain, like, what kind of movies do you like? What kind of do you like? Guilty movie pleasures?
I
and all that
like
stuff?
everything.
Yep.
I have the most varied taste when it comes to movies.
Yep.
I like The Revenant, but I also really like things like Nicholas Sparks does.
Oh, wow.
And I'm embarrassed to say
you may have an even more varied taste than me.
Sometimes I'll walk in unexpectedly, cry out of fear or happiness.
Yeah,
I'm a fan,
I like The Notebook. I did get really depressed in the end, though. I don't like romantic dramas where they end tragically. Yeah, it just bums me out because I'm like, you're so emotionally manipulative. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, and anything like that where people accept their fate.
Yeah, rough.
But in Titanic.
I do have a varied taste like you, where I can, as people know on this show, I can watch the craziest stuff like Garbage Pail Kids. Mm-hmm. Yes, Garbage Pail Kids is still one of my favorites. It's a terrible movie, but I love it. And then I can go watch The Revenant or Room or any of these things. But, my favorite movie of the year is Mad Max, followed by Star Wars. Those are and Creed. Those movies were incredible. But I have varied taste. So we welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
What's your background? What else you got going on?
I do a number of shows at AfterBuzz. Occasionally I'll do some one-on-ones here at Popcorn Talk.
We did a one-on-two. You interviewed my wife and I for our movie, The Funhouse Massacre. We had a I Talk Movies with. You should check out.
That's right.
It's good times.
And then I also do some podcasts, do Radio Millennial, Cameron Louis Show, one-on-one interviews, and then some stand-up here and there.
Nice. Where do you do stand-up at?
Mostly at a club in Inglewood called the J Spot.
Nice. The J Spot.
It's like a very easy-to-solve game of Where's Waldo when I go in there. But it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of, are you more crass? Do you lean more towards
No. The first couple times I did it, I was like, I have to be edgy. Mm-hmm. And that did not work out for me. And then it eventually turned into making fun of myself on the stage, failing, and also just observing the situation that I'm in. Like, one of the funniest things I've ever... That doesn't sound egotistical. One of the funniest things I've ever said. No, but one of the jokes that went over the best was me pointing out that I couldn't afford to do my laundry that week. And I didn't even say a punchline.
Yeah.
And people laughed, probably at my misfortune, but that's okay.
I used to do stand-up a while ago, and I went through almost the exact same phase where I thought, in college, I basically was just mimicking Dane Cook, and I was just getting up on stage like, if I do things really crazy, then I'm funny, right? And it's like, not really. And then I went into like my crass stage where I had like a 10-minute joke about balls and just ridiculous and like, are balls weird? And it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways. We're getting off track. I wanted you all to meet Cameron over here. He's going to be with us for a while. And right now, today, most importantly, we are talking about Desperado. Don't be confused because it's in a 2-pack with El Mariachi. We are talking about Desperado. Easily one of my favorite action films of all time. It's in my top 10. I've seen it 12 or so times. I lost count. I remember I got it on VHS when it came out because it came out in 95. So I was 13 at the time. I wasn't old enough to see it in theaters because my parents were very nitpicky, especially if there's boobs. I wasn't allowed to see it. It's really weird. It's a really weird thing about American culture where we can see as much violence and gunplay and brains and everything as we want, but show a boobie. And
don't show a boobie.
Don't show that. That'll just corrupt you for life.
God.
But I remember seeing this movie on VHS and being like, holy shit, I've never seen a movie so stylish and so fun, and the gun battles in this are insane, and we'll get into that, but like the just complete lack of aiming and just like throwing bullets around. And Salma Hayek we'll get to this as well, one of the craziest 90s sex scenes ever.
So much guitar happening in that.
So much.
I'm so excited to talk about that.
And the boots with the little spurs. We're just gonna spend 40 minutes on the sex scene, so get ready. This is gonna be a 4-hour show. Just kidding. But anyway, so Cameron, when's your first time that you saw this?
This was literally last night.
What?
Yes.
How did you not see this before?
I did, to be honest, didn't even know it existed.
Oh my God.
For some reason, I knew El Mariachi had existed. I knew Once Upon a Time in Mexico existed.
You just didn't know the middle.
Somehow, people forgot to tell me there was an in-between. I don't know how.
That's crazy.
So when I saw this
But have you seen any
night,
of the other two? You haven't seen the other two either?
No.
I've seen all three.
And I feel like I picked the perfect one to watch.
It is the best one in my opinion. I think Desperado is the best because El Mariachi is great, but it's limited by its budget. I mean, they made it for $7,000, but it's incredible what they did with that. And then Once Upon a Time in Mexico goes a little into Crazy Town, which I love, but this one is just kind of boiled down revenge.
Yeah.
Get the girl, shoot the dudes in the face. The bartender always lives. Nope. You'll get it later. But so what did you think of it, seeing it for the first time ever?
I loved it. Because one of my favorite things in movies, I think a common thread in a lot of movies I liked is angst. And I feel like this movie is full of angst. I love angst.
Oh, yeah.
I love angst, and I love ridiculous
shot
fight
up
scenes.
And beat up, and he's got he's a tortured soul. He lost the woman he loved. He lost his ability to play guitar.
Yes.
He's lost everything.
And I love it when I am confusingly attracted to a male because of how well they're playing the role.
Hey, Antonio Banderas
scary,
is a sexy man in this, and I don't think any woman or man who's confident in their sexuality would agree with you.
Yes.
I mean, disagree with you.
I wish that I could shave like he does.
Right?
Anytime
somebody straight razor shaves in a movie, I'm like, God, that's so badass.
Yeah.
I've done it. I have a barber who cuts my hair, and one time he did that, and I was like, that's so cool. And then he gave me the straight razor, and he gave me one for because it was my bachelor party.
Yeah.
Our groomsmen were getting shaved, and I went home after a couple weeks later and tried to shave, and I nicked myself immediately. I was like, fuck it, I'm done. I am not manly enough for this straight razor. Immediately, just like neck slit. It was bad. It bled for a while. So not cool enough for anything that isn't, safeguarded with several blades.
Yeah, I need
the battery
I need the
too.
fake ones. I need to start with the fake one to warm up, and then I can do the real one.
You've just been growing that ever since you were a child.
This has been going since 1995 when the film came out.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I just rock the constant stubble. So I look like I'm a little lazy and just rolled out of bed, but I didn't want to shave today.
It's a look.
It's just because I don't want to. It chews my face up. Anyways, this isn't a Dollar Shave Club infomercial, but so I think what we're gonna do now is the plot in under 3 minutes. I'm very excited about this,
God.
And I might throw you under the bus and have you start up first. So we'll do that. And are we ready in there, Zach? Sure.
When you are.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it away.
Okay, so El Mariachi, his name, Antonio Banderas' character, he's pissed because his wife/lover got killed in the first movie. I didn't see it, so I'm going to say lover.
Yeah.
In the first movie, and now it's his plot to seek revenge against the guy Bucho.
Yeah.
He's going on the hunt for him.
And the opening sequence is basically the coolest opening sequence in cinema history, introducing a hero. Steve Buscemi comes into this really seedy Mexican bar. He's the only nerdy white guy in the whole place, and he goes up to the bar and he's like, "Can I get a beer?" They're like, "We only have piss warm Chongo," and he's like, "Hey, that's my favorite beer." He tries it. He goes like, "This is a really good beer," and he's like, "I was in this bar down the way. Some really shady characters, not upstanding people like this place," and he starts telling his whole mythological, like, just giant tale of this dude that walks in and just shoots up a bar, and they show this amazing action sequence, and he mentions Bucho, which is this big bad that we find out about, and everybody freaks out as soon as you hear Bucho, because it's like a super secret code name for this bad guy.
You're not sure if it's sexual. It might be.
You don't know. It could be.
We'll find out.
And so then he leaves the bar, and everybody's real nervous, and he goes and tells El Mariachi that, like, "Hey, listen, I told him you should go to this bar. This is where..." But it seems like he goes to the same bar in the same town, but then El Mariachi has to walk like 10 miles miles in just all black with a guitar case.
It's literally across the street, but it's fine. It's 10 miles
super
away.
Sweaty. And then so he goes to this next bar, shoots up the place again, and things escalate real quickly after a cool little cameo by Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. And then after that, Salma Hayek's on the street, slow motion. What happens then?
Salma Hayek's on the street, slow motion. There's a gunfight.
Yep.
There's a gunfight all over the place. Some things happen. He has to push her out of the way.
Yep.
I almost shoots her.
Almost.
There's crossfire. Kid almost gets shot.
Yeah.
Pushes the kid out of the way.
Super dangerous.
All these things happening. We meet Selma Hayek. She's playing Carolina.
Yes.
Looking good
She
in this movie, by the way.
stitches him up. Yeah.
She stitches him up. She's a bookshop owner. We learn all this about her.
Okay.
Oh my God, back to you.
Okay.
You're faster at this.
So then the bookshelf, she's the bookshop owner. They kind of have this little romantic little maybe hints of it. And then he finds out that the kid's being a drug mule, but not like swallowing it and pooping it out or anything like that. No,
he's
guitarring it, and then also, and then Danny Trejo's character comes out and he's the knife wielding guy, and they're like, shoot anybody that you don't recognize, which the bad guys don't realize that the higher up sent Danny Trejo in, and so Danny Trejo starts stabbing at El Mariachi and accidentally stabs Steve Buscemi's character. Totally sucks because I really liked him in it.
Yes.
And then Danny Trejo gets all shot up, and then from there, Danny Trejo's dead. They drag him in. They're like, oh, we shot the wrong guy. Then El Mariachi goes. They figure out that it's in the bookshop because Bucho goes and visits.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I think he's in there. So then they send all the bad guys after they have this awesome 90s sex scene. Oh, God, 30 seconds, okay. And then there's this badass shootout. They jump across the thing, and then there's all these explosions.
Fire.
And then they're like, hey, call your friends. Okay, bring your guitars. The friends come. The one guy has a machine gun, 2 machine guns for guitars. The other guy has a rocket launcher. Big, huge explosions. Both of his friends die. Not really any remorse for it. The kid gets wounded. Take the kid to the hospital. And then they go in there, and then they go to Bucho, and it's like, hey, I'm your brother. What? Where the fuck did that come from? And then, bam, shoots him out, fades to white, and then they drive off into the sunset, and he gets his guitar case. It's a long ride. It's a long ride. And,
woo!
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean, this is the master right here.
I just had a Makuga there where
Jesus.
Makuga, the thing that would always happen is his brain would melt down, and I feel like towards the end I was like, I've seen this movie 12 times. How do I? What's the next plot point?
I thought you were about to vomit.
Yeah, I did a little bit. It's fine. I'll clean it up later.
I thought you had some of the shitty beer.
Oh man, this movie is so fun. This movie, I get so jazzed about it, and the only thing that pisses me off about this time around watching it is I procrastinated too long, and my wife didn't get to see it with me. I usually try and make her watch the really good ones we do on here, and this is one that I'm like, you would have loved this one. Because it came out in a time in the 90s when like action movies like they were there was like the invincible hero, but it had never been done in this way. It's almost like it's like Robert Rodriguez borrowed a little bit from John Woo and like Hard Boiled and things like that with the double guns and stuff, and then made it just this really stylish, sexy, kind of fun, badass movie. It's
what's
completely
interesting
absurd.
about it is I found that too, but so first of all, the poster on this movie, I watched it on Amazon, so the poster might be a little bit different, but
where it's the explosion and they're walking off.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be it is an intense film, but I did not expect to have this much fun with it.
Oh, it's super fun.
It's the funnest thing I've ever seen.
Just the opening sequence, how they set him up. And Steve Buscemi has this great monologue about it. In fact, let's just play those 2 sound clips because it'll be like 30 seconds of awesomeness. Just bear with me, audience. But this, to me, is one of the best intros to a hero ever. And they build it up so that in the beginning, you feel like you're watching almost a myth of a character, so you excuse some of the ridiculousness that happens. Right. Because it feels more like the legend of the El Mariachi instead of like, oh, this is going to be super realistic. I mean, a guy has a rocket launcher in his guitar case.
The other guy has the
never-ending reloading. It's amazing.
Yeah, where do all those torpedoes get saved?
How many torpedoes can one guitar case hold?
I don't know. Apparently a lot.
So let's play Steve Buscemi's opening speech because it's so good. And in he walked.
And in walks the biggest Mexican I have ever seen. Big as shit. Just walks right in like he owns the place. Now, nobody knew quite what to make of him or quite what to think. But there he was. And in
he walked.
Dark, too. I don't mean dark-skinned. No, this was different. It was as if he was always walking in a shadow. I mean, every step he took towards the light, just when you thought his face was about to be revealed, it wasn't. It was as if the lights dimmed
just for him.
Just for him.
Oh, my God. How cool is that? It was as if the lights dimmed just for him.
Reminds me of a Tinder date, Ben.
I mean, come on.
Right?
If that was your Tinder profile, it was as if the lights dimmed just for Cam.
What I love about this is I love how much of a fish out of water Steve Buscemi is in this bar.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
And just the detail of every time they pull the the bar tab, it burps. Did you notice that? It's like, it's just disgusting. Everything about this bar is gross.
Yeah.
And the fact that piss warm Chongo is what they call the beer.
Which is Chongo a real beer?
If it is, I don't think they ever sold after this movie again.
No, because the name itself is disgusting.
Chongo? Yeah.
It sounds like a guttural noise.
I'm pretty sure that, it never sold. In fact, we have an awesome clip where these Americans come into the bar and they're like, just so you know, the service here is terrible. And the waiter never came over. Is he still in the bathroom? And then as she's leaving, it's the beer.
And your beer tastes like piss.
We know! Because we piss in it.
Can we play that just one more time?
And your beer tastes like piss.
We know! Because we piss in it.
The Americans are portrayed so hilariously in this movie. They're all like annoying teenagers from various parts of the country, or 20-somethings that came to Mexico to just party in, Tijuana or Juarez or whatever. And she could not be more stereotypically annoying.
Yeah.
She's just, everything she says is bitchy and annoying.
But
and
people like this do exist.
Why would
100%?
How would those people go into this bar and not be like, whoa, fuck, this is not the place I'm supposed to be at?
I 100% agree.
Like, how long were they sitting there before they were like, this is weird that, like, there's no customers and everybody who is here looks like a cartel, worker or something. Cartel worker, is that a thing?
A cartel employee.
Cartel employee, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Freelance carteller. No, I went to a bar 2-3 weeks ago. It was a dive.
Yeah.
And somebody was complaining about the table service. I'm like, what are you talking about?
There's no table service.
What are
in
you
a dive
talking
bar.
about?
It's like when people are like, this beer mug smells funny. Yeah, because you're in a shitty bar. What do you expect?
Yeah, there was beer in it until 2 seconds ago, and then they poured that beer out.
And then they just maybe rinsed it on that thing. Piss warm Chongo.
Yeah,
because we piss in it.
The thing that
Piss in it.
So good. So good.
Cheech.
Cheech Marin, he's one of my favorites. He's so
he's
good.
the best.
He's so good. So that first, my favorite part about that opening sequence, though, is that everybody who gets shot gets launched in the air, like 30 feet. These bullets are magic. I've never seen anyone the one guy gets shot and he flies across the floor and out the door. The other guy gets shot and he lands on the antlers on the wall. It's just, it's amazing.
It's awesome. And how I justified that happening as I'm watching is like, of course they're flying across the room. He's putting so much force into each shot. It makes total sense.
It's as if, especially in that second bar shootout where he's running across the bar and he's like, Kodak. We were talking about this, how it's almost as if he's just throwing the bullets out of the gun and the trigger just happens to be pulled at the same time. It's like, if I do this, the bullets come out faster. There's no way you could aim like that. I've shot handguns before. They're super hard to aim as it is, for me at least, let alone if you're going, and then the sideways thing. Oh my God.
The sideways thing, the crisscross. The sleeve guns.
There's so many. This guy is a magician with guns. When he goes up to Steve Buscemi in the beginning and he pulls his hair back and then that giant gun comes out, where did that come from?
I mean,
did he have it hooked here?
It's science, Ben.
Or in the back of his head?
I think it was part of the ponytail.
I think as a kid, as a teenager, I remember I had like that dopey haircut that all 90s nerdy white kids had where we had our heads shaved, but we grew out the top.
Like a bowl cut?
Like a bowl cut, but like it came down to like here and the rest was ugliest haircut ever. Ugliest. No wonder I didn't have any dates until college. But I remember I tried to I thought it would be funny to take one of my sister's headbands and put a toy gun back there underneath my hair, and it doesn't work.
You're not fooling anybody.
It doesn't work.
No, especially when the gun's the size of a baseball bat.
I had a headband. I had like my little a little squirt gun back there. Watch this, guys. Not yet, huh? No, not as cool. Not near as cool. It just appears out of nowhere and it's magical. It is
wish
magic.
That could happen.
Oh, man.
How cool would that be? Collapsible guns, those exist, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
We can make that happen.
I'm sure collapsible guns exist.
Can we confirm that, Steven?
You can confirm that. Collapsible guns do exist.
Yeah, they do. So we could
Steven guarantee.
You can 3D print guns.
3D print guns.
Really?
3D print everything.
Keep them in that skull of yours.
Somebody earlier today posted on Facebook, I saw somebody said, congrats to the uterus, the world's first 3D printer. And I thought that was very clever. Because it is. It is the world's first
factual,
3D printer.
And that's why it's funny.
We know that printers screw up a lot, and that would make a lot of sense.
Hey, there you go. Hey, uterus jokes.
There it is.
We'll be here all week. So I also love how this movie just doesn't stop. It pretty much escalates just one thing after the other. I don't fully know. I never fully got the relationship with Steve Buscemi and El Mariachi.
Well, this is what I was going to ask. Was Steve Buscemi in the first?
No.
I was so confused.
I think he just agreed to help him out, and it's so fun. This is what's hilarious and great about this movie is anyone aside from Salma Hayek, Carolina, who comes into El Mariachi's life, just gets brutally murdered.
Yes.
And then El Mariachi just moves on. He's like, well, that sucks. You got knives in your chest. Like, Steve Buscemi is really helping him out, and then just 2 knives to the chest, dead. Maybe he's alive still. Maybe he didn't hit any vital organs. But I always find that funny. But what else would we want in an action movie like this?
Right.
Would you want him to sit there and cry and be like, no, Steve Buscemi? Like, that would just ruin the...
I was so happy that, to that point, I was so happy that almost everybody that was titled at the beginning of the movie was dead in the first 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That made me so excited.
All the main actors. When he walks into the second bar, and we have this sound clip where he goes, wait, keep it down. And so everything escalates because he goes in there and he has his guitar case. He's like, what's in the guitar case? And he's like, my guitar. And just super cool about it. My guitar. I told you it's my guitar. That's it. And then sorry, this is a really terrible accent. Don't judge it or think it's racist. I'm trying to be as cool as Antonio Banderas, and I am not.
It's a hard ask. It's a big ask.
He's so good. He's so good. And then the guitar, so they open it up and there's a guitar, and then the casing of the guitar flips open and it reveals like grenades, all these other guns that I love that he pretty much never uses. He only uses his 2 handguns.
There's a crotch gun in there.
There's a shitload, which happened, they use in From Dusk Till Dawn.
They do?
Yeah, Sex Machine uses it, Tom Savini's character. There's a vampire grinding on him, and he flips it up and blasts the vampire with his crotch cannon.
Oh, man.
So it's like a precursor to that. That's why I love it. But I wish, there's all these guns, and I'm like, shit, why don't you, this is just weighting you down, man. That's really heavy to carry 10 miles if you're only going to use these 2.
I love the way he throws that case around, too, knowing there's explosives in there.
Like, just
you know what, fuck it.
What if those
now we're
pins
good.
Shit. Dude, was that a pin dropping? Shit, run!
It might have been.
Might have been.
Also, what kind of hinges did he have on that thing? Because
I don't know.
Come on, if you're going to have weapons under the fake guitar, make sure the hinges don't pop themselves up.
Yeah, because at inopportune times when he's like, it's him! So then they all freak out. They all flip the tables. They get their guns ready. And this dude that looks like, oh shit, who does he? He looks like, not Don Johnson. Oh, damn it. Who's the other guy? Oh, whatever. He looks like a really famous bearded white actor that I'm thinking of who's in Tarantino stuff a lot. Shit, I'm going to forget. It's fine. But anyways, so then the case opens and then he tries to calm him down because he doesn't want to kill. He's like, hey, I don't want this to escalate. Yeah. We can all be friends if you just tell me where Bucho is. And this is his big speech before the shootout, which is the, oh shit, I forget which one it is. Not yet. Not yet.
Well, yes, it's me. I'm not against you guys, so keep it down. Just keep it down. Hey,
keep it down.
I'm just looking for a man
and
who calls
gun?
Matargo.
He goes,
not yet.
Guns from his sleeves, just everywhere. So good.
It's so
you gotta watch this, Steven.
I'm going to now,
dude.
Because it's so good. Because he's like, my favorite is keep it down, and you know he's not like. The best thing in action movies is when we talked about this with the rundown a couple weeks ago, which is when a normal person would be afraid in this circumstance. So a normal person would be like, no, guys, don't fucking shoot me. Don't shoot me, okay? Yeah. But he's saying keep it down because he's like, I don't want to have to kill everyone in this room. And that's always so badass. He's like, keep it down, white man. I'm going to kill you, bearded devil. And so then it's like, boom. And then these guns just come out of his sleeves and just like we talked about before, how do you aim like this? I don't understand.
Part. It's not even like the force behind it.
I don't understand.
It's one part is that, but like if you pause the movie, they're pointing in opposite directions, but somehow they hit the same target.
It's like Windex bottles, you know.
Yeah. I've tried it.
It works.
I've tried it with paintball guns before.
Yeah.
Does not work. It's just like.
Man, I want to go paintballing with you because I would feel safe.
You feel safe because I would never hit you.
Really feel safe.
I just do Antonio Banderas moves the whole time. I look cool, don't I? Yeah, but you're out every round in 3 minutes. I know, but I look really good.
I got to use my head gun this time. Don't make me whip out my crotch gun.
Shoots little paintballs.
Why is this guy carrying a guitar around the paintball field?
That'd be incredible. I want to do that.
Keep it down.
Keep it down. Not yet. Oh my god, it's so badass. It's
I
so
love
good.
also. This is the first time we see. I mean, obviously in the what do you? I guess the dream sequence.
Yeah, the opening. Yeah, the story in the opening.
We see it there too. But this is the first of many times his hair is up, but then the hair's down when he gets serious.
Oh yeah.
But he never takes it down. It just
happens.
Kind of falls down.
Falls down.
Right when he pulls the trigger.
There are so many. I wrote down so many moments in this bar fight scene because there's like. It's nonstop. It's nonstop awesomeness. Where is it? How no bad guy has any aim. They all have fully automatic machine guns. And
so close to each other.
They're so close to him. Like, here's the guy with the machine gun. There's El Mariachi. There's 4 of us. Can't hit you.
Like,
cannot hit you.
And the funniest
There's
thing too
a force
is
field around you.
El Mariachi's never moving fast.
No.
He's just like,
nope.
All right, I'm gonna walk to this side of the bar.
He's just got
and
so much
just
swagger.
Shit blowing up everywhere behind him.
He gets on the bar. This movie, I've never seen in a movie so much style and panache. That's a good word to shooting guns. When he's on the bar, he's like blam blam. Then he does like this dance move where he like flips around and shoots from behind from the back. Then he's back here. Then he goes clack 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 clack. Then he ducks and jumps. And as he's reloading, he's like, oh shit, the other dude runs out of ammo and then jumps on him with a knife. That's one of my favorite moments. He finishes reloading, dude jumps on him, he kicks him up in the air and just blasts him back even further.
Just amazing.
So good.
You would think the guy was on a trampoline.
Yeah.
But amazing either way.
Or just a bungee cord that just yanked him right back.
A human cannon, perhaps.
There's so much stuff in there, and I'm trying to think what else I had. I think I just said everything. There's the throwing the bullets is amazing, like we talked about.
Yeah.
And then I love how when the other guy comes out, the bookkeeper, who you think is just going to be this nebbish nerd guy, and he's one of the most badass guys of all of them. And he comes out and he's just blasting away. Yes. And then it's when he says, "You missed me." This is one of my other favorite moments with Antonio Banderas. We got that clip, Zach?
You missed me!
Which is hilarious because Antonio Banderas isn't even ducked behind the bar at that moment. He's just hanging out there reloading, and the dude's like,
yeah.
You missed me! It just sounds like a kid on the playground.
It's so good.
Like they're playing tag.
Tag! You missed me!
You missed me!
Nanny, nanny, boo-boo!
You missed me! You know, actually,
so perfect.
On the way over here, there was a guy who almost rear-ended me, and then he cut me off. And so I sped up next to him, and I rolled down my window. Even though it was raining, I didn't care. I was like, I will get wet for this. That sounded weird. And I rolled down the window, and I yelled out at him, and I said,
You missed me!
Hashtag I will get wet for this. I'm sure if you search that hashtag, it's horrifying results or not safe for work results. You missed me!
Oh my god.
Thank you.
So good.
In fact, when we were playing paintball the one time, and I did the hair grab thing, and then tried to shoot you sideways.
No, you tried to shoot me sideways. I had a machine gun. I couldn't hit you either, but like your bullets definitely didn't hit me. So I was just like, you missed me.
And I appreciated the reference. And then you did fire one, and it hit me right square in the chest.
And you're like, you hit me.
You hit me.
Oh
my god.
It's like Luke, in Star Wars. He's walking down. He's trying to take down the Death Star.
Yep.
He's in the ravines, and you got Darth Vader right behind him, and suddenly he just yells to Darth Vader, "You missed me!"
Yeah.
And then the Death Star explodes.
Darth
Spoiler
Vader's
alert.
just spinning
exactly how I remember it.
He's just spinning off into space.
Yeah.
You missed me. Yeah, I remember that.
It's just reverbing through his TIE fighter.
It's good that they've used this over time, because I feel like it's a quote that just stands the test of time, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really do. I feel like we skipped over Quentin Tarantino's thing, which is awesome. His little cameo.
He could not keep a straight face.
Oh no,
The entire time. He looked like he was going to vomit for about 45 minutes.
He's like the Jimmy Fallon of this movie.
He is.
It's so good though.
He's like,
he comes in. So for those of you who haven't seen it, which is probably no one except Steven.
Hi guys.
Is that Quentin Tarantino comes in and I guess he's there to pick up money and do some kind of drop. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
He's just there.
And he comes in and his basic his way to kind of chum up with these villain guys is to tell a really ridiculous joke and basically just let him go on this tangent about the pissing on the bar. I think we have that. Do we have part of that? The pissing all over? Yeah. So
then he lets it rip. And he's pissing all over the place, man. He's pissing on the bar, he's pissing on the stools, on the floor, on the phone, on the bartender. He's pissing everywhere except the fucking glass.
Except the fucking glass.
He was so proud of that.
And the whole big punchline is that he bet the bartender that he could piss right in the glass, and then he bet these other guys more money that he could piss all over everything, and the bartender wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
And it's not even that great of a joke, but he is Dane Cook style delivery where like you think it's funny because of how he's delivering it. You're like, God damn, that's a funny joke. Wait, no, it's not.
I almost think that it might be a personal story from Quentin Tarantino.
Might be. It sounds like it.
It seems like something
he seems like a madman, like in the best way.
He's just pissing on everything constantly.
He just goes into bars and just makes these super weighted bets in his favor. Just gets a piss all over. How would you physically do that? I mean, even at my most like full bladder, I could maybe piss on a bar and like a stool, but not everything.
I think that's where I might be able to outdo you better.
Yeah?
Yeah. Especially if I've been karaokeing, because I'm always holding it, right?
Yep.
You're at the bar.
There's clothespins for that. You know, you just stick it on before you go out and you're ready.
Yeah.
You're ready for the bet.
Jesus. Oh, God. There's clothespins for that. Ooh.
He's pissing everywhere except the fucking glass.
Hey, at least we're not using nails anymore, right, guys?
You know what? That's... Ow! I sometimes... Jeez. Speaking of that quote, sometimes like when I go to a bar urinal, I feel like maybe they're drunk, I don't know what it is, but it seems like no one can ever actually make their urine fully in the urinal. It's like always just a urinal splash fest down below. It's like SeaWorld, but with piss.
Yes.
And every time I go into a bathroom, I think of this quote, and I just look at the urinal, I look at the ground, and I'm just like, God damn it!
He's pissing everywhere except the fucking glass.
And I just think glass, because, you know,
every time,
ceramic urinal.
Every 4th of July, we'd go to Camp Lejeune to see the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a mom, and my mom would always have to use the bathroom. You know,
as people do. They have moms.
So she'd wait in line for like 3 hours at the Porta-John to get in. Finally, she gets in. She's about to sit down, and she comes out and she tells me,
he's pissing everywhere except the fucking glass.
Totally.
She's so mad.
Almost every night I wake up in the middle of the night. I've had a lot to drink. I'm delirious from a really weird dream. There was probably an earthquake. I don't know, maybe somebody robbing me, walking in the bathroom of my studio apartment, and I start going everywhere, but I see myself in the mirror and say,
he's pissing everywhere except the fucking glass.
It's embarrassing.
I self-accuse.
I actually, this is not confirmed, and this is actually a true story. You can ask my wife. We were in Rome for New Year's a few years back, and I got super drunk off of 2 bottles of champagne and no food. A bottle and a half, all right. It was a bottle and a half. And we were stumbling home, and we get home, and I crashed out on the bed. But then the next morning I woke up, and the carpet near the bathroom was wet, and there was no way water could have gotten over there. And I didn't want to investigate too much further and like sniff it or anything like that, but I was just like, I'm pretty sure that at some point I woke up in the night drunk, thought I was in the bathroom, and instead of pissing in the toilet, just pissed.
He's pissing everywhere except the fucking glass.
That's literally a true story. That actually, I'm pretty sure, literally a true story. That's redundant.
I went to a bar once, and
the most overused quote yet.
Big guys, you know, talking to big guys, trying to make a bet with them. So I bet them that I could piss in a glass without the bartender getting mad.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, I bet them that.
Just like the joke in the
movie.
movie.
So I went to the bartender.
That's weird.
And I bet him that, I don't know.
He's pissing everywhere
and all of a sudden,
and then you just pissed everywhere except the fucking
pissed everywhere instead.
And then so after what happens, after this big joke, Quentin Tarantino's laughing. His buddy laughs, and he has no teeth. He has no 2 front teeth. He's the creepiest smile.
It's like the Christmas wish that never came true.
It's so...
It's exactly what happened.
Exactly, and he looks like the friendliest, like, cartel, drug runner. He looks so nice and jovial.
I would want to work with this guy.
And then Cheech Marin gets off the phone, and he looks at him, and he says the checked out line. We'll show you, right? Check out.
Hey, guess what?
Dead. Toothless guy dead.
He didn't check out. And you checked out just fine.
The other night I was leaving Ralph's. I had just gotten some store-bought sushi. Somebody accused me wrongly of getting store-bought sushi. There's no problem getting store-bought sushi. It's perfectly fine, right?
Yeah.
Just walking next to that person up to the door, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the security guard looks at me and says,
"You checked out just fine."
That's very nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice of him.
Yeah.
You know, I when I fill out contracts whenever I work a job. I always forget how to do like the tax forms and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So I always have to ask the AD or anybody, you know, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I feel like I got all the highlighted parts, but can you just check it? And they always look at me and they go,
You checked out just fine.
I was like,
familiar
thanks,
with
man.
that.
Thanks.
I used to screen, you know, the people that got hired to get peed on by R. Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
And,
That was a big thing, though. That was a
big
huge
thing, yeah.
screening process.
He never got it in the glass, but when
of
talking
ND
to people to make sure they sign the NDAs,
Yeah.
you know,
This has been such a piss-filled show.
every time I talk to them post-interview,
Uh-huh.
I just want to take a second to tell them that,
You checked out just fine.
you know, they appreciate it, and then they walk away and wash up.
You know, back in my single days, when I would go to the clubs, I was trying to think of like, you know, kind of cool one-liners to pick
Oh,
up
yeah,
girls.
yeah.
And I thought this girl was looking at me from across the way. And instead of my usual pickup line, which is I'm like, hey, are you a shovel? And they're like, what? And I'm like, are you a shovel? And they're like, I don't understand what you're saying. And I'm like, because it seems like you're digging me. I decided not to do that this time. And I thought she was checking me out. And so I went up to her and I just looked at her and I looked right in her eyes as the music was thumping. And I said,
You checked out just fine.
insinuating that she checked me out just fine. And then she was like, get out of here or I will taser you. And she did have a taser on her, so I didn't mess with her.
That's scary.
And I was wearing my Wrangler jeans at the time, so that just made me even creepier.
What she didn't know is there was a crotch.
I had a pair of
there was
Wrangler
crotch
jeans
gun
one
ready.
time, and I didn't realize they were Wranglers until somebody called me on it. There was a crotch
How
gun ready.
embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
The Wranglers.
Not to side note, but I was thinking about the crotch gun again.
Yeah.
And it happens in From Dusk Till Dawn when his name's Sex Machine, and he has a crotch gun. Why would you get a lap dance with a crotch gun? Because like already if you have too thick of jeans on when you get a lap dance, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, but like a crotch gun on top of I hope my wife doesn't listen to this part of the podcast. But years ago, honey, years ago. Or my bachelor party. But you know, it's like the crotch gun, that would just be so much metal. It just seems
Clearly
like,
he
you know,
was overcompensating for something.
overcompensating.
That's exactly
Sex
what was
Machine was an
happening.
ironic name for it.
Yes.
For this movie that no one in here knows what we're talking about. You saw From Dusk Till Dawn. Have you
What?
seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steven, have you seen From Dusk Till Dawn? Okay, good. Okay. At least you didn't commit that.
That one I've seen.
Robert Rodriguez sin. I appreciate
Also
that.
Spy Kids.
Yeah, that's a good one too, the first one. Now, the thing, okay, so then we're going to move on a little bit from the bar fight scene because I could just go on about this forever.
Yeah.
Although they do have the grossest entrance to a secret backdoor counting facility ever, which is a shit-covered bathroom. And when you flush the toilet, the wall comes up and they walk through. It looks like a Coachella porta potty, basically. It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I would.
It reminded me one
If I
time
was the
I went to-
FBI, I'd never go back there.
No.
No.
But I wonder how many people accidentally snuck into that thing for whatever reason and accidentally flushed the toilet and a wall comes
Or
out.
somebody who's just trying to be like conscientious and be like, it's really messy in here. I should
clean.
flush and maybe try and help. And then, oh
Yeah.
shit.
It's really
man,
unfortunate
literally
series
shit.
of events.
That sucks,
I saw
man.
an IKEA setup that looked like that one time.
Yeah?
At the store, yeah.
Where you had a little prop thing that.
No, shit everywhere.
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is like shit all
people
over.
that go in there and they think it's real. And they really want to just test it out.
Yeah.
They want to give it a whirl.
Really ruined 8th
No, it's like
grade
Dave
for me.
Chappelle, the Hershey syrup. You just throw it everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or a Baby Ruth
Yes,
in
exactly.
Caddyshack.
Just make sure if you go in the bathroom like that, like do the taste test to make sure.
What?
That is terrifying. Steven?
Well, I walked in one time.
I can
you
never
taste
go back
it,
to
and
Burbank
it's chocolate,
IKEA.
and I said,
We.
You checked out just fine.
Check out. Oh, we got back to that. We came
I
back
thought you
to that.
pissed yourself.
Not yet.
He's pissing
There it is.
everywhere except the fucking glass.
So then, can we talk about Danny Trejo in this? Because first off, I've met Danny Trejo very briefly on
you?
the set of Badass 2, because it was with the same production company that did this other movie I did, and I stopped by just because I was like, I want to meet Danny Trejo, I want to meet
Hell
Machete,
yeah.
I want to meet Knife Guy from I don't remember if he has a name in this. I don't think so.
No,
He's just
it's pretty much Knife Guy.
Knife Guy. Yeah, I think it's Knife Guy. He is a super nice guy in real life.
Yeah.
But in this movie, he looks terrifying. Like the second they introduce him, I'm like, fuck.
He could be twirling like a Twizzler in his hand, and it would be just as scary.
Yeah. He shows up, for those who don't know, he shows up with, I think it's a real tattoo. He has this awesome tattoo of this like classy lady on his
Yeah.
chest, and then a vest of throwing knives.
Yeah.
And just a badass mustache, and just this, he has such a cool face, Danny
He
Trejo.
does.
He has such a, it's like him and Edward James Olmos both have very distinct faces that I really dig. All the lines and stuff, just so
The
much
grooves,
definition. It's so awesome.
The caverns of their face.
So awesome. And the fact that he shows up and he's this rival assassin from the higher up that you don't find out till later. And then just that sequence. I do wish that The one thing that bums me out is I wish that him and El Mariachi could have gotten to square off. They don't really get to.
Yeah,
because
or
El
like
Mariachi just
some
gets
kind of exchange.
a bunch of knives thrown into him. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck. Oh, this really hurts. I've met my match.
Yeah.
And then the dudes show up, but him chucking all the knives into the limo and everything is so fun through the sunroof.
It's amazing.
And then just getting blasted.
And the throwing knives didn't look like they were even throwable, which made it even better. They looked like they weren't aerodynamic.
No, those look like throwing knives that I've
did?
seen. Yeah.
So you
back at like
how many knives do you throw?
I've thrown some knives in my day. You know, we used to go to Hartville Flea Market in Ohio and pick up some knives and throw them in the backyard and try not to hurt ourselves.
By the way, did his tattoo seem really low to you?
The female one?
Yes.
Like it was like weirdly.
It wasn't a chest tattoo.
No.
It wasn't a crotch tattoo. It was like a weird half belly.
It was half belly, half like underside of
Under
nipples
teat.
to like waistline.
Very odd.
Maybe what it is that it's based on a real person who was short, and when he takes off his pants, he has the whole body just tattooed.
I think you're right.
I think I'm right. I know I'm right.
I
know
you're
my
right.
Danny Trejo trivia. All right, everybody.
Google image
trivia.
search that. Oh,
What kind of restaurant did Danny Trejo just open up?
A taco place.
He did.
Yeah.
Trejo's Tacos.
Trejo's
guys.
Tacos. Yeah.
Literally TrejosTacos.com.
It's awesome.
where is
I've
this
been there.
at?
It's great.
Vegan tacos in Los Angeles.
It's awesome.
Vegan?
Vegan
Is
tacos.
he vegan?
Hey, you know what? That makes him even more badass.
I know.
That he's like, I'm not pro or anti-vegan, but the fact that dude is vegan,
It
he's
checks
like,
out.
Fuck you, man. It checks out.
It's amazing.
It checks out 100%. So then Danny Trejo gets killed off. Steve Buscemi gets killed off.
Oh.
There's that awesome shot then when the kid's like, here, let me show you where my guitar is.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shots in the movie is when El Mariachi's walking down the way and the blood streaks are coming out
Yes.
from his wound.
It's so good.
Which then leads to Salma Hayek stitching him up again and the craziest 90s sex scene ever.
This is my favorite thing, I believe, in all of film.
This movie's... this sex scene it could only take place in the 90s where there was these... Which they don't do anymore. I was thinking about this today. They either cut away from it because they're trying to make it PG-13, or they make it so kind of pseudo-realistic that the sex scene happens all in real time and it's like 30 seconds long.
And everybody has their clothes on.
And yeah, nobody uses condoms because whatever. I feel like that always now sex scenes now are even more unrealistic. I would rather have a montagey, sensual thing like this where candles and then these shots of like. We talked about how like I think she licked his ass cheek at some point.
She licked his ass cheek.
Yeah, because there was like back hair and then nope, that's an ass.
Yes.
That is an ass.
And clearly he works out.
I mean, yeah. And then there was the part where he's running the what is that thing? What do you call
spurs.
it? Spur.
Yeah.
He's running his boot spur all over her body.
He's getting it.
It's just like it's like a better, sexier version of the animal cracker scene in Armageddon, which is like the animal cracker's going over the Alps. It's like this is just like this is much cooler, right? This spur. Because come on, that's one of the worst scenes in movie history.
Oh my God.
That's one of the worst romantic
It's such
scenes
a good analogy.
in movie history. That's why I was
It's such a good
comparing
analogy.
terrible romance in movies to this, where you're like, oh yeah, get it, Antonio.
See, I love that we get the journey, not just like
Right?
this one-off thing.
No, there's
they
all
probably
kinds of
had sex
sensual
6
stuff.
times in this montage.
I mean, come on, right?
and I also like to think that there's a guitar player who is just there,
Just
because you hear like this.
Sounds like the not the theme song to
That's-
anything in the movie.
No,
but
but you know what I mean.
sound more like the Beverly Hillbillies, like
That's what I was going
or
for.
Deliverance. I liked it though. I appreciated the effort though.
Thank you.
I appreciated
that. I moonlight.
I do
doing that.
remember because I've talked about this before on the show. You haven't heard this yet, Stephen or Cameron. Maybe, I don't know. But I had to scour for nudity when I was a kid, like in movies and stuff
Sure.
like that. Because the most I had was like 3 Playboys my buddy Corey bought from down the street at a yard sale for $1 a piece. We didn't have things like kids nowadays, you jackasses. No, I'm not making fun of you, but I'm just pissed and jealous. Where you can just type in stuff on your phone and be like, boobies, and you get it.
Yeah.
We had to
Instantly.
like hunt for it, you know? Then we had to hide it from our parents because I grew up in a very conservative household, like I said, where boobs are not allowed. And I remember seeing this sex scene and on VHS just before I even knew what like 12 or 13, well, okay, I knew what this was. But I would pause it and like watch it just immediately and just pause it and be like, oh, there's boobs. And then like skip it frame by frame and just be like, this is so cool. And it's like, it's maybe 2 or 3 frames of the whole sequence.
But you know
see
what? I
boobs.
appreciate that.
I do too,
appreciate
'cause
that
it's not gratuitous.
It's natural. It's just there.
It's just there. It
It
just
wasn't like
happens.
here they come.
No,
and
just
then there was like a grand reveal.
There you go. Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah.
See,
no, we had Starship Troopers. That was like the first shower scene.
That was great.
As a kid, and you're like, damn. And then we had, of course, Super Bowl 38.
yes, that was a favorite of mine.
And I think it's great because if you Google Super Bowl 38, it automatically just shows an uncensored picture of Janet Jackson.
See, it's great. We're getting more progressive.
By the way, the thing I love about this music, you can't tell if you're listening to a porn or a 70s game show.
Yeah, or like
both the same track.
Or like Shaft. Like a blaxploitation film.
Ben Begley's MySpace page.
Yep.
The music that automatically plays.
Welcome to Ben Begley.
I do check it every once in a while just to go back in a time capsule.
MySpace.com/Desperado.
Yep. It's weird. I got it before Desperado signed up for a MySpace page, and then they tried to hit me up about it, and I was like, no, that's my nickname. Okay, I'm the Desperado.
Yeah.
And we had a little bit of a legal battle over it, but then MySpace kind of went under, and no one gives a shit, so they let me have it.
Yeah, because MySpace was looking into it, and they were trying to check it out. But, in the end, they figured out.
It's fine.
I think I heard about that one.
It's all good.
Tom was pretty pissed about that.
Tom was real pissed. Tom lost a lot of friends. It's real sad. Yeah. It's real sad. So the best sex scene ever we talked about.
It's so good.
Ass licking, and which we said was a... What did you say, Zach? You said it was a reverse 69, and you called it a what?
It was a 66.
A 66.
It's a perfect number.
Is that a thing?
It is now.
Or did you just make that up? Is the 66 what it's really called?
If it is, I've never heard of it before, but I'm
going
to go do some research.
Look up what dual ass. It's physically impossible. I just
Google
realized.
image search dual ass.
Physically, it's impossible to dual ass lick. This just got real vulgar. Physically, you can't unless you're really tall. If you're way taller than whoever is, right? Now I need to draw a diagram.
I don't know.
Of this.
Here's some paper.
Okay, so here's the head. Here's a pen here's the head here. So here's the head here. Here's the body. Here's the ass. And then if somebody's here, you'd have to be much taller. You'd have to be like 2 feet taller. I did a quick diagram since no one else could see.
You know what? Let me look at that.
It's really terrible. That's pretty much my art skills, though. But I wanted to do it fast, so we didn't linger on the ass licking.
That checked out.
Hashtag linger on the ass licking. We're doing some good hashtags today. I like it. Make sure that trends. So anyways, then after the sex scene, greatest little post-coitus morning, beautiful serenade that she's doing for him, and as those guys come up through the windows, and he's just holding the guns, getting ready, any moment, and then they go. They end up right behind her, and I love how into her song she is. That she never notices that these dudes or that Antonio's grabbed all these guns, and then he kicks her aside, blasts those dudes, blasts his way out of there, and then the greatest... I mean, there's so many great moments. When he jumps across the building... So they get up to the roof, and then... she jumps over, he throws the guitar case, again, just willy-nilly. Who cares?
Many grenades in there.
Who cares if the grenades explode?
Yeah.
And then when he jumps backwards and is shooting as he's falling off the roof... and manages to hit them, even though he's well below the place where you could hit him.
Way below.
And then he hits the ground and just bounces right back up.
I was like, okay,
I've done this 1,000 times.
This is it. He's going to be dead.
He's dead.
I really can't wait to see his back hit the ground. But no, he did like a backwards somersault and saved the day.
Oh, yeah. He was very nimble.
Very impressive.
Very nimble.
Which, by the way, I forgot to mention in the sex scene really fast.
Let's get back to the ass licking.
I just have to go back for just a second. I think one of my favorite things in this movie was seeing that sex scene and then smash cut to Bucci's really terrible sex scene.
Oh, yeah. You're right. That was great. That was a great creative choice to be like,
so
look how sensual this is. And then this girl and Bucci just like...
Yeah, it's so good.
I do have to mention the chat real quick.
Yeah.
Brian Hurst says the shower scene in Carrie was his first movie.
Oh, wow.
And then Reed Gibson says Wild Things with Neve Campbell and Denise Richards.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay. That was paused several times in my past. Oh, man.
Wore out that tape.
Only for like 30 seconds.
That VHS tape just...
Had that on Laserdisc, so it was much harder.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the first nudity I ever... I don't even remember the first.
I think American Pie was
big
one.
Was a big one.
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct was huge.
Bush.
Yeah. It wasn't a merkin, was it? Is that what they call it? A merkin or whatever? When female actresses, they'll wear basically like a bush wig down there.
Pubic wig.
Pubic wig.
Pubic wig, yes.
Yeah, bush wig just sounds like Jeb Bush is wearing a wig right now.
That's what Crocodile Dundee wore.
Make him an interesting candidate if he did. So anyways, we got political for a second there.
Hi-yo.
But so then sex scene, awesome. jumps over the building.
Backwards.
And then the greatest gunfight of all happens when he calls his 2 buddies in who were in the El Mariachi band with him in the beginning.
Oh, my God.
And which we didn't even mention the fact that mid-song in the beginning, he goes up, and I think it must be a dream sequence because he wakes up from it. But I don't care. I want it to be real. Because there's these guys like, fuck you, I'm going to stab you. And he's like threatening a girl. And he walks across the bar and then just hits him in the face. Doesn't miss a note.
No, that was real. That wasn't like a weird ass dream sequence. That was definitely a flashback. Because later on he mentions he gets shot in the hand in real life.
But I felt like that moment was very fantastical though, because then everybody stops and this bad guy comes in and he's lit very interesting, and then it goes to the flashback of him getting shot in the hand and all that, which was real.
Oh, you're right.
But I think the bar sequence itself is like him remembering his El Mariachi days, and then the violence that has, because all he wanted to do was play music, and now all he can do is play the sweet, sweet sounds of bullets and flesh. You know, that's it, just bullets and brains. That's all he can do now. And then his buddies come back. And we talked about this, the craziest weapons ever. What did you think when that happened? Were you expecting that?
I shit myself.
Right?
I started pissing all over the place and missed the glass.
He contributed to the fake stall in the bathroom.
Yeah?
I did.
Yeah.
No, I definitely did.
Like, what was your reaction when you're like, oh, they're here, they must have more guns, and then the one guy has 2 machine guns for guitar cases that he just keeps cocking like this.
Doesn't aim it.
The other guy flips down in this awesome way and brings out a rocket launcher guitar case.
Which was great because it did not have a hole in it.
Nope.
Until he shot the
Just
grenade or the rocket through it.
Kind of, if you look real close, it like kind of pops down at the moment.
It pops down?
It does pop down.
That's impressive.
I
literally thought.
What's
What's
that?
that?
They brought the wrong guitar case.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty terrible.
It's a guitar class.
Band did not go well that day. No, I thought that, you know how sometimes in movies they'll do like this fantastical bit where somebody's like, this is how I wanted this to go.
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah.
it rewinds for a second. It's like, this is what actually happens. I thought that was going to happen in this moment.
No way.
Because the guy literally puts a guitar case on his shoulder and a rocket comes out. I was like, that's pretty ridiculous.
I just want the story of somebody trying to do this and just having the case blow up on him.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of happens to him where at one point he gets shot and he falls down and he shoots the rocket into the air, and then a very long time later the rocket comes back and lands on him and blows him up.
He shot it exactly straight up.
His buddy doesn't have any emotional connection to that. And then
It was really sad.
Antonio Banderas is supposed to have his buddies back in that scene when they're like, let's go back to back. And he's like shooting, and the guys with his machine guns, and then Antonio Banderas sees the kids hurt, runs over to help the kids, like, fuck you, dude. All right. And then right then, his buddy gets just wasted. And you're like, wait, what? Why did these guys come help you if you're just going to let them get just murdered immediately?
He's a dick.
I kind of wanted...
He's secretly a dick.
If I had one problem with this issue, with this movie, the only problem I have is I wish that those guys survived, because I want them in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I want them to come... He does have buddies that come into Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and I don't think it's like a twin brother or anything weird like that, but I don't think it's even the same actors, but I know he has buddies in it, but I would have loved those guys again, because I just didn't want him to die. I was like, no.
I didn't either. I wanted to see him,
come
catching
on,
up, having a few beers.
Yeah, after like a post-credit scene, like Avengers style, where they're just enjoying some
shawarma.
Piss-warm chongo, you know?
They never even spoke.
No. They just get wasted, which is fine.
Which is fine. But I did love how when he called them, he's just like, yeah, bring your guitars.
Bring your guitars. So good. I mean, that's a very small complaint because it's still awesome.
Yeah.
And if it is a complaint that I like the characters so much, I wish you didn't kill them, good on you, Robert Rodriguez.
Good complaint.
Good on you, good sir.
Yes, definitely.
And then it goes to the end sequence where the shootout happens, where we reveal that Bucho is his brother, which was completely confusing and crazy. It came out of nowhere.
When he was on the rooftop, like scoping
I was
Bucho
like, why didn't
out,
he shoot him?
I was very confused. I was like, did he realize it's the wrong guy?
Or have a conscience, like a clash of conscience?
Yeah, he's like,
whatever.
shit, I'm just as bad as him if I shoot him or something.
I thought that too. Nope.
But then
it's his big brother.
Yeah.
Which, when they're in the bookstore and he's talking to Salma Hayek and Antonio Banderas is loading the gun very carefully.
I love that.
So good. He's shushing the gun. Click, click. I love it. I love that scene so much. I don't know how Bucho doesn't hear it clicking. He's just so focused on Salma Hayek. I mean, how could you not be?
Yeah.
But how does Antonio Banderas in that moment not hear his brother's voice?
I was.
I mean,
thinking
maybe
too.
it's been a long time. Maybe his voice has changed.
At one point, I guess he didn't, but at one point I thought he even like looked around the bar to see who it was. I feel like I remember that happening. I could be making that up in my head.
Which bar sequence?
When he's loading the gun, when he's behind, or in the bookstore.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought so too. Yeah.
And I thought he like peeked around to see who is that, but I could be wrong about that.
I just remember.
But even the voice. Yeah,
but maybe they haven't,
It's like-
I'll give it, because this movie is incredible, I will give it the benefit of the doubt. And maybe they haven't seen each other in years. Maybe Bucci's voice
it's the
from
facial
yelling
hair.
so much has gone hoarser than he remembers, because he yells a lot. He yells a whole
specifically
lot.
about the car that he bought for that reason.
Yeah. He gets very mad about that car.
Oh my God.
So then in the end, they square off. He's like, "You're my baby brother. And the only way I can get even now, you killed my men. I'm going to kill your woman and make you watch." But guess what? El Mariachi does not come empty-handed.
No.
He comes guns blazing. Not yet. Bam, bam, bam. And then it fades out to white.
So fast.
I remember being like, seeing that when I first saw it when I was a kid, being like, "What the fuck? What?
Yeah.
What?"
I almost thought that was the end of the movie, which it kind of is.
It kind of is.
But yeah, I was pretty much shitting my pants.
I was so pissed because I wanted to see much more, but then I think
Mano y mano.
I remember I watched it with the commentary, and I think it was part budget and also part the fact that they'd done so many shootouts that it's like you just came off of literally 2 minutes prior a gigantic shootout with rocket launchers and machine guns. How do you top that?
That's true.
So all you need to see is that Buccio gets his. They get out somehow. The kid's okay. He's like, "I got to leave you." And thank you. That's one of my favorite quotes.
We see who was the kid's parents came in the hospital room or something. Where have they been?
Just the
kid's like pushing drugs.
I mean, if the kid is, but the kid's dad is making him a drug mule, so clearly they're just not very, they're neglectful parents.
guess so.
The thank you line is one of the smoothest lines ever that a
Yeah.
hero has said to the heroine of a movie. Do we have it? Thank you. Do we not have thank you? We may not have thank you.
Did I thank you?
No, you didn't.
Okay. I will.
Oh, that's so good.
So good.
Oh my God.
I need to start doing that.
Oh man. I tried that to my wife one time after she made a delicious meal.
Yeah.
I was like, "This meal is so great," and I looked at her and I was like, "Honey."
Did I thank you?
She was like,
No, you
No, you didn't. And I said,
Okay. I will.
and then I went upstairs and went to bed, and the next morning she was still pissed. She was like, "Fuck you! I will doesn't count as anything. Say thank you now." But what it means in this scenario is, it's not the last time you've seen me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so smooth.
I'll be back. It's the I'll be back.
It's so good. I will. And then at the end, he uses it again.
Yeah.
When he leaves, and you think he's just going to walk off into the sunset. And I was pissed at first because I actually hadn't seen this in about 5 or 6 years, so I forgot that she comes back. And I was like, what? Then she rolls up in that giant Jeep thing. And
I don't know where she got.
he throws the guitar case, and you think he's done. You think he's done with his violent past. And then back up, just in case. It's a long drive to the next town.
I almost thought that they
So
were going to
good.
back over it and it was going to blow up. I literally thought that was going to happen. I was just like, well, that is a way to fucking end.
Hey, that is an ending.
I would have accepted that
I would have
ending.
accepted any. I've come to terms with the fact that I love pretty much everything Robert Rodriguez does. He has this kind of do-it-yourself style of filmmaking where his movies are just so fun to watch.
They are.
And it's so great. It's like, he's just a blast, man. And this is one of my favorites. This is easily one of my favorites. We got some more sound clips here. What else we got there, Zach? What have we not done? What have we not done yet? Oh.
Let's play.
That is right before him and his two buddies do the shootout.
Yeah.
He cracks his neck in the loudest bone crack ever. Oh, Jesus! Oh, did you hear that back home? Oh,
that was
my
actually
God.
my neck.
That was legit Steven's neck. Stop it! Stop it!
That was good, Steven.
So
Did we record that? We
Let's
got that?
play. One time I was in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it was a high rollers table, and by high rollers, I mean it was like a $50 buy-in, which was rich for my blood.
Yeah.
And I started off and I was trying to be cool. I had my shades on because, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be poker face and all that stuff. And I looked at the guys and I cracked my neck and I said,
Let's play.
And then I was out in one round. So we didn't get to play that long.
I really love video game YouTubers and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I went on YouTube and I was looking at video game stuff, and all I found were these videos labeled,
Let's play.
Yeah.
Really?
and I just stopped watching.
Yeah.
The other day I went on a Tinder date.
Uh-huh.
Swiping left and right all over the place. We go out to dinner and
Nice.
things were going well, Steven. By the way, she paid for dinner. So I said,
Wow.
Let's play.
thank you. And then and then after dinner went so well, I stared into each other's eyes and I said,
Let's play.
How did that go?
It was like the IKEA bathroom.
Okay.
It looked like that bathroom stall.
Yeah, all right.
I pulled out Monopoly one time for a family get together. I pull the game out.
You're really competitive. Your family's super competitive. I know this about you.
Super competitive. Yeah,
I heard that.
They've been shot in the face before for playing games wrong.
Yeah.
So I go into the family gathering. Everyone's there. I put it down, and I say,
Let's play.
And everyone left. Nobody wanted to play.
What? Because they knew you're the king of Monopoly. I know this about you. Nobody fucks around with you with Monopoly because you win every time.
I'm like
you get
that
those
old guy.
goddamn railroads super quick.
Yeah, I got that body odor railroad.
Yeah. Does the railroads give you a lot of money? I don't remember Monopoly.
They give you 200.
What else we got? What other sound clips we got? We're running. Oh man, we went long today.
Whatever he said pissed off the bartender plenty. Some of those unsavory characters I was telling you about.
Steve Buscemi awesomeness.
Not class acts like these boys here, but real scum. They got pissed too. Started pulling guns and knives and what have you, starting some shit. Now the stranger, he bolts out of the bar stool like you wouldn't believe. He grabs his case and he dives right in the middle of the room with it. Just dives right in. Now, I don't know what he does on that floor, but he's up in two shakes. His suitcase is wide open, and he's pulled God knows what out of it, but it's the biggest hand cannon I've ever fucking seen.
Oh my God, it's so good. Biggest hand cannon I've ever fucking seen. I know what one I wanted, which is this is after when Cheech Marin's the only person left in the bar, and he goes up to him and he says the hard way speech, which is I quote this at least every year in some way or another. Can you play that one, Zach?
I'm looking for a man who calls himself Butcher. That's all. But you had to do it the hard way.
Interesting thing is, I love the Shamrock Shake, right?
Oh, so good.
Oh.
And I went to McDonald's one time,
yeah.
And I think there was some issues with the speaker or whatever, and I was like, hey, do you have the Shamrock Shake? They're like, yeah, we have the Shamrock Shake. I was like, okay, cool, I want a Shamrock Shake. They're like, yeah, Shamrock Shake. And I was like, I thought we were clear. And then I get around to the side, and they hand me a strawberry shake. And I'm like, what the fuck is this nonsense? If I wanted a strawberry shake, I would come a different day than when the Shamrock fucking shake is ready. And they said, oh, sir, it's not actually available till March 1st. And I was like, okay. And I looked at him, and I said this.
But you had to do it the hard way.
And then I ripped the fucking speaker off, and I got arrested for it. It was fine. I threw the strawberry shake back in his face.
The sleeve guns came out.
I felt so bad because he probably gets minimum wage, and I just totally IKEA bathroom that thing. I felt bad about it.
That happens. The
hard
IKEA
way.
bathroom bit.
Yeah.
Do
you have any hard way jokes? I saw the porno version of this movie.
They're so obvious for
the porno version of this movie.
Trying not to do.
I was dating a girl for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really find her that attractive, so it never really worked out. So she hands me a blue pill and she says,
"But you had to do it the hard way."
You had to do it the hard way. Oh, God.
That was so self-deprecating.
I really enjoyed that one.
Man.
Oh, my God.
How do we top that?
I really enjoyed that one.
I had this bag of chips, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, I reached in, my hand was wet, and then 3 days later, I came back to the bag of chips, pulled out, I was about to eat it. It was really stale, and I just looked at chips, but I was so hungry, I just said,
"But you had to do it the hard way."
I was so devastated.
That makes sense. I have a tendency to use Waze, and Waze is super frustrating because sometimes it takes you a really nice route where you're like, oh, that was really fast, and other times you're going like a left here, then you're going one block this way, then a right, then a left, then another right. It's super annoying, and I feel like it's just keeping you busy so you feel like you're moving. And the one time I just got so frustrated with Waze, I just looked at it and I was like,
"But you had to do it the hard way."
So mad.
My friend always had this medical scale at his house that would let you weigh yourself really easily. And I went over to my other friend. He's Amish, so nothing's easy. So I go into the bathroom. I'm gonna weigh myself. I want to see if I've lost weight.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's got a freaking judicial scale here with weights and stones, and you have to kind of compare it. And I looked at it, and I was like,
"But you had to do it the hard way."
And you still don't know how much you weigh.
I don't know
how much you weigh.
As far as I know, I weigh 3 toilet paper dispensers and 2 bags of rocks.
Yeah.
Probably. That's about right. That's about right.
It reminds me of a tale that I once had with one of my friends. A buddy of mine go to the gun range on occasion, shoot a few things. And we both...
Do you shoot like...
Well, I don't shoot like that, but we both shoot grenade launchers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I just pull out my normal grenade launcher, my rocket launcher, and I'm getting ready to go, and I'm looking around. Where is he? He's put one inside of his guitar case. And I was like, you're taking forever.
This is just...
You had to do it.
But you had to do it the hard
But
way.
when he fired that rocket launcher from the guitar case, it looked super cool.
He looked like a badass compared to me. I just
looked super cool.
Embarrassing. I just had a normal rocket launcher.
You know, I was
hand cannon I've ever fucking seen.
You know, some people pitch me scripts all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come to me with this great story, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited to make one movie. And then they say, no, it's 3 movies. It's El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. And I'm just like,
He's pissing everywhere.
That was a good surprise there, Zach. Wow, that is all the time we have for tonight. Oh, that was a good one. I could talk about Robert Rodriguez movies all day, son.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Desperado. We got to do Machete on here at some point. That'd be amazing. Once Upon a Time in Mexico has to happen. Just Planet Terror. There's so many.
Yeah.
Basically, every movie he does is perfect for the show because they are awesome.
Yeah.
So, Cameron, where can people find you?
You can find me at The Only Camshaft, Twitter, and Instagram.
All right, you can find me at the Ben Begley and follow us at what is it? What is do we even have a handle here anymore?
it's at the Popcorn Talk.
At the Popcorn Talk. Sure, yeah, follow us at the Popcorn Talk. Also, comment on this video. Tell us some suggestions. Tweet at us some suggestions. We want to start being more involved with that. So tell us what you want to see. If it's a terrible idea, we won't like your tweet. But if it's a great idea, we'll like it. We'll bring it on the show. We're excited. We want to get you involved. We want to have you telling us what movies you want to see us talk about. And as always, until next time, what is your guilty movie pleasure?
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.